You know, what's going on in Israel regarding these children from the West Bank is really, really disgusting and really, really unfortunate. You know, just because, you know, Israel has a very, very dark history and a lot of unfortunate things happen to the Israelis during the course of history. But that's not an excuse of having to oppress other people and having to be insensitive to other people's suffering as well. Because you're not the only ones who suffered on this earth. You're not the only one. And on this issue regarding West Bank children, especially some of them are as young as 12 and they're being detained in Israeli jails. It's just shameful, to be honest. And some of these children, they face torture. They face solitary confinement. Some of you might say, oh, solitary confinement is not really torture. Well, if you're 12 years old and you're being forced into solitary confinement without having access to your parents or anyone that you know for long periods of time, that is torture. That is torture. If you don't think that's torture, then something's wrong in your head. And also, these children, sometimes they're forcibly woken up early in the morning, and they're also forced to give confessions in which they can't even read. And this is very, very unfortunate and very, very insensitive of anyone, and inhumane, to be honest, for anyone to do. So I'm just glad that the UK is actually now focusing on this issue and actually trying to take Israel at hand and put a stop to it, because, to be honest, it's really shameful for humanity to be ignoring such an issue. And people who ignore other people's suffering, then that means you're just as responsible as the people who are enforcing that suffering or enforcing that cruelty. That's how bad ignorance is. And I'm just glad that now it's starting to end. I'm glad that now changes are starting being put in place for it to stop happening and for it to be reversed, because these laws are really draconian and they really should be changed. I mean, if you look at the bias, Israeli children have access to a lawyer within 48 hours and they cannot be imprisoned under the age of 14. But Palestinian children as young as 12 are jailed and can be kept for 3 months without legal representation. And between 500 to 700 children are jailed each year in Israel. 12 years old. That's shameful. And the shocking thing, yeah, is that they are incarcerated in breach of many conventions. The practical effect is parents can't get there because they can't get permits to get into Israel to begin with. You know, to viewing a 12-year-old child as a potential terrorist is a really disgusting worldview for anyone to accommodate. And the fact that you have the Israeli embassy spokesperson, Amir Ofek, saying that, defending this practice and saying that these children glorify terrorism when they haven't actually been charged of any crime, is really disgusting and really sad to watch. And people shouldn't just sit around and watch these things like this happen. If I had power to act, I would have acted against this. So I just want to thank Miriana Hildrad for actually putting the focus on this issue and actually looking to make a change in Israel, because these kind of practices cannot be accepted in any society.